It's a beautiful spring night in Iowa City, warm, sunny, amazing weather, and we are honored to have Lincoln Elementary represented in our program tonight. In this new episode of Education Exchange, I am Hani El-Qadi, your producer and host of this, representing a team of workers from the education system as well as from public access TV. We have Mr. John Karhoff, the father of this program for nearly quarter of a century, and his partner during this whole wonderful journey, Michael Peterson, who is our floor director and cameraman, and we have Mrs. Langenfeld, the principal and leader of Lincoln Elementary, one of the highest achieving schools in our district and one of the pride of our district in Iowa City. And to her right side is Jack, representing the students of the council that is the Health and Wellness Council. You are representing all the students now, and representing the parents in this council is Julie Fitzpatrick. Welcome to our show.
Thank
and
you.
You have a wonderful legacy. So I want you briefly to tell our audience about your story. How did you come from classroom to the leadership situation of one of the best schools in our district?
Thank you first for inviting us here tonight. We love to talk about our school and our program that we have at Lincoln. I have been at Lincoln as a principal for 6 years. Prior to that, I was a reading specialist in the district. I started at Grantwood Elementary, and then I did quarter time at Lincoln the year before I became principal as a reading recovery teacher. And then I also did, I was a staff development facilitator in the district as well. And so, so I followed Chris Kolarik as the principal at Lincoln, and it's been 6 great years, and I'm looking forward to many more.
Welcome.
Thank you.
And I know that your intention was to focus on this activity.
Right.
And you can start. I think you got us a wonderful group of slides. So
Yes.
we can start showing them now while you are explaining to our viewers.
Well, one thing that makes Lincoln a really great school is not only do we have a really strong academics program, but we also believe that parents and students and teachers, everyone works really hard together to make sure we have a comprehensive program. And in 2015, Lincoln became the first Blue Zone school that was dedicated in Iowa City. And we're very proud of that, but the process that we went through to become a Blue Zone school has reshaped our entire entire program.
Blue Zone stands for what?
Oh,
for our
okay.
Viewers.
Dan Buter did a lot of research across the world to find out where in the world and why did people live longer in certain areas. And Blue Zones got its name because they had the world map, and they would circle these areas of the world in blue that lived longer. And they found out that people had, ate well, they had a nice work-life balance, they practiced mindfulness, lower stress levels. All of those things created the perfect environment to live a long, healthy life. So we want to take those principles and roll those into what we do in our school day. So we're going to talk a little bit about what we do at Lincoln to make ourselves a Blue Zone school and continue those traditions, and then also just kind of make it part of our day. We're going to focus this time on things that happen outside of the school day that influence our school day. We also do mindfulness and brain breaks and activity built into the school day, but we're going to talk about things that roll over into the home life. So the first thing that we did was the Blue Zones Challenge Week. We do that every week, and it's using curriculum through the Blue Zone Schools project. And it's asking students to reduce the screen time, get outside and play, move around, enjoy recreation, increase healthy foods like fruits, vegetables, and water, and then reduce the intake of sugary drinks. And I think, Jack, you might want to mention a little bit about what you know about the Blue Zones Challenge Week and if it's affected you at all or what your thoughts are.
Well, so first of all, the American Heart Association is a great, like a great product, I'm not sure, of what you should eat amount of sugar every day. And so a child should most likely have 4.2 grams, or no, 12.5 grams of sugar a day. And an adult should have 24 to 36 grams a day. So I think that changes most lives because, you know, some people have very sugary drinks such as Mountain Dew, 7-Up,
Such as
any
me,
pop.
like me.
Yeah. And water is a great choice for that because it has no sugar. It really doesn't have anything. It's just water. And yeah.
So this, it's a kind of recommendation that the American Heart Association passed, right? Recommendation for everybody.
Right.
Wonderful.
And we failed to mention Jack is a sixth grader at Lincoln, or third grader at Lincoln. I wish you were a sixth grader. You do so well when you were speaking. Sorry. And then Julie Fitzpatrick is our parent this year, who is our head of our Lincoln Health and Wellness Council. And so she has a really great background too in health and fitness, and she brings that to us all the time too. So Julie, you might want to mention a little bit more about the Blue Zones Challenge Week or things that you know about it. I know we'll touch a little bit more on our Rethink Your Drink too.
Yeah, you know, I come to Lincoln, my background is in physical therapy. So I've been in the traditional healthcare arena for over 25 years. And for me, it is such a joy to be able to work with Anne and her leadership to have someone who really sees the value of wellness and integrates it into the fabric of what they do day in and day out is really something special. Being in healthcare, I have a very strong interest in the preventative side and the wellness side because I know there are so many things that all of us can do to make that end game maybe a little bit more graceful and to live healthy and well lives. And when you have a school setting that adopts these principles, children and students are the best place to start this because if they can shape these philosophies early in their life, just think how wonderful those outcomes can be for them. So it's such a joy for me to be a part of it. There are so many wonderful things that Lincoln is doing and it has been doing, and to be able to step in right now and take the foundation of what they've done and maybe help them take it to another level has been really a joy. The Rethink Your Drink, that's been a really fun educational experience for really not only students but teachers, parents. We've had this in the lobby at school, and it's just such a telling visual of, like Jack said, the American Heart Association has recommendations out there as to how much added sugar we should have in our drinks. And many of us, myself included, we drink these drinks without really thinking about what's in them, but when you really break it down and look at how much sugar is in each of them, we see that most of those, even the ones that we think are the healthy ones, have either the amount we're supposed to have for the entire day or more. So it's just, simple changes in our lives make healthy outcomes, and educating people and helping them understand this is just a really fun process, and it's just wonderful to be at a school that looks at the importance of that.
Thank you. We do, and it's true, the healthier our kids are, the better they are and able to be friends and to study and learn and go out and be better citizens for us. And I know you were in healthcare before you went into teaching, so you can see this whole preventive wisdom here. And I always think that if we can have students like Jack become better and healthier, we're going to do better as a community also. So the other piece that we had up there is the Blue Zone School Family Picnic that we're going to be hosting. Every year we have all of our families come in, having healthy picnic time together, and it's about that community. In the Blue Zones, they talk about having communities and groups of people coming together for the only reason is just to socialize, or to talk, or to exercise, or walk, or do something that's pleasurable together. And we've really found that the family picnic works well. We put our blankets out all over the playground. We have activities like this year we have kind of a surprise planned for students, so I'm not going to tell because anybody who sees us won't be surprised on the last day, but it's related to recreation. And the more our kids spend with screen time, the more time they need to be taught and experience recreation that's away from the screen. To get out and play and do something creative with their bodies and with toys that are simple. And that's kind of the goal that goes along with the family picnic. We'll probably have somebody that's offering yoga or jazzercise or something else too, so parents can also experience other forms of recreation too. Because like I said, it's not just about the students or the staff, it's about our community, which in every aspect is the teachers, the students, and the parents together. We all work together with our goal.
How many kids, Jack, do you have in this council?
Six. I think six
Kids
students.
from all grades, or
like,
mostly from
like 3rd through 6th.
Right.
Yes.
3rd to 6th,
Yes.
so
Yes.
upper grades.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And then they go out and poll the younger grades for ideas, or like if this, like there's a video that the kids made also along with this poster, and then the council members, they go into the classrooms and teach the kids. And they work through and support the teachers in the role also, so it gives them the leadership opportunities as well.
Do you get sometimes problems convincing young kids not to eat sweet?
Yeah.
How do they perceive that when you go in a classroom and say, well, that's not good for your heart? What do they say?
Well, like
They
they'd
hide-
probably say, but I love candy, why can't I eat it? But yeah, candy does have a lot of sugar in it, so.
So they hide candy bars from you when you.
Well, I think, truth be told, that balance is probably the key, right? And sugar is everywhere, and we know that kids are going to have candy and probably some of these drinks. And I think just having the awareness, increasing awareness, is really the key. Because instead of maybe having a candy bar and then a Mountain Dew, perhaps now they'll think a little bit more about all the sugar involved with that and make some little healthier choices.
We're trying to convince them that proteins can be sugar in your blood again. You know, they can transform into sugar. So, yeah, they better have protein than.
Yeah, much
Yes,
healthier way to
protein
go.
is
Yes,
Right.
protein is wonderful.
Exactly.
Yes.
Okay, so the next thing we do is our school garden. So we're talking about healthy eating, so let's teach the kids how to actually grow healthy foods. We have a small school garden, so we usually do some type of root vegetable, like we did beets one year. This time, the kids are harvesting. Do you want to tell them, Jack?
So we were harvesting the potatoes that the third graders from last year planted.
Right, right.
And we like harvested them and took them out of the garden, and we made some potato soup in our classroom.
Yeah, and I think we have a slide of kind of the product. We can go ahead and go to the next slide. So we actually planted marigolds with the potatoes, so the kids learned that the marigolds and the potatoes, the marigolds help keep away the potato bugs with the potatoes. So that's kind of a natural deterrent for pests. So you'll see marigolds along the side, and every time they're holding up their potatoes when they found one. We can go to the next slide. Yeah, aren't those beautiful? And we can go to the next slide and you can talk about what you did with the potatoes. There you go.
So this was a really fun activity, kind of farm-to-table concept of taking real food, whole foods, and then making a real food recipe. And the kids, they loved it, and it was just an opportunity to talk about the importance of real food versus foods with preservatives in them, and looking at ingredient labels, and just taking the time to be mindful about what you're putting in your body and how to fuel your body properly. And the beautiful thing about students is they're sponges, and they take this information and they really go with it. And it was just a wonderful day for everyone. And the potato soup was actually pretty good, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
It takes definitely a special talent for people like you in your role to simplify the facts to be understood and comprehended by kids. Because if you go through the metabolism and Krebs cycle and all that, they will just
Right.
turn
Yeah, I mean,
away from you. But I think this is a very important role that you try to simplify it and give it in the best possible way.
I agree. I think keeping it simple and keeping it fun,
That's correct.
and also integrating it into how they can maybe integrate this into their daily lives as well and take this home, these thoughts. A lot of people asked for the recipe. A lot of parents called and asked for the recipe to do it at home. So and that's the ultimate goal.
They are your missionaries there.
Yeah, the ultimate goal is to help everyone become healthier and
Right.
put it to action. So
Another teaching that we do with the healthy foods is also with our Pick a Better Snack through the extension service. And we don't have a slide for that, but that also helps us with our K through 2 students, so they get to try different foods like broccoli or cauliflower, some other interesting like kiwi, things that they normally wouldn't try or maybe have tried in the past and didn't like, but when it's represented in the school setting, it's fun to see how many kids then adopt wanting to have fruits and vegetables. And we do have a large percentage of our students bring home lunch at school, and they have a lot of healthy foods right in those lunches, and that's part of our Blue Zone's goals too, is to reduce the sugary foods and the less healthy foods that are found in some school lunches. So this is our slide talking about making healthy choices, and so the students put together, they wrote and created a video to help them rethink their drink too, in addition to having this trifold poster. Julie, you worked quite a bit on that with the council. Maybe you want to address a little bit about that.
Sure. You know, again, kids are so creative, and they really did this with their own volition. They wrote their own screenplay, they actually acted it out, and they set up this restaurant environment of asking the waiter for a drink, and they were trying to make a healthy choice, and the waiter would come out and instead of pouring the soda, would pour the sugar into the glass. So there was that visual again. And it was very clever, it was very well done, and I think they really had a lot of fun doing it. So another great learning experience for them in a fun way.
Yeah, well, I like this documentation very much because, there are some people that understand better these visuals than
Absolutely.
from hearing.
Right.
Right.
Yes.
So the video is on our Lincoln YouTube channel, and then also Julie alluded to that we've had this out in the lobby of the school, and it's interesting how many community members come through, and they are so fascinated by it, and they have talked about how they need to rethink their drinks. They need to have that sense of how much sugar is in my drinks, what am I modeling for my kids, and so I think it makes me happy when I think about what the kids are doing is rubbing off on other people in the community, and that is the whole goal of the Blue Zones, is to create that kind of environment. So our next part of this is the walking school bus, and I'm going to turn it over to Jack and Julie to talk about this.
Want me to start?
Yeah.
So the walking school bus is a really wonderful way to bring our community together, our students together. We have parents, students. Every Friday when the weather is nice, we walk to school. We have a route, and we actually have bus stops, walk stops along the way, and we pick up kids, and it's very fun. It's about a mile long, and we just have a wonderful turnout. We really have a fun time. And Jack, is there anything you want to say about the bus?
Well, we have like 3 stops, right?
Mm-hmm.
We have 3 stops on the way to school, and
So this,
it's a lot of
this is
fun.
more than a mile, huh?
What?
It's about a mile.
About a mile,
Yeah.
yeah, and it's fun for his
that's-
friends will join in, and parents will come, and
Applied wellness, yeah.
applied wellness, absolutely.
Exactly.
It's
Exactly.
trying to get moving. It's a great way to start the day. I mean, the kids exercise before school. It gets the blood flowing
And they wake up too.
and wake up.
Right.
Absolutely.
Right.
Very
And
important.
we're also going to be doing, April 24th, we're going to start a 2-week Safe Routes to School punch card system that we're participating with at the state level, which will tie nicely into our walking school bus, and also for students who walk to their actual bus stop, they can also participate in that. So we're looking for a really good turnout with that. And on the next slide, it talks about the real reason why we want kids to walk. It's because we want them to value community building and recreation. And it's interesting, the first year we did the walking school bus, how many kids said, it's really fun to walk with our friends, or it's fun to have, because we have people who will drive to there, even though they're bus riders, just to join in because it is so much fun. Our parents and our community volunteers make it fun for the kids. But we want to have our families know that it's great to walk, it's great to ride your bike. We've got a picture of our bike rack. We've got a lot of kids that are recreating and moving on the safe days when the weather is good, coming to school. And I just can see these kids going years and years now and developing these healthy lifestyles. And Iowa City wants to become, I think, a gold certified or silver certified city for bicycling, and we're doing our part in promoting it. And
I like this point that you emphasized just now, the kind of camaraderie and friendship that is established. So you move from just the physical wellness into the emotional one too.
exactly.
In
Absolutely.
communication and exchange and maybe discussions and very, very healthy
It is.
from all aspects.
We spend so much time rushing from place to place. We're scheduled, and our kids are in the back of a car watching a video or a device. We forget how enjoyable it can be to get from one place to another. And so we're trying really hard to slow things down, to kind of make sure that we are taking time for ourselves. This is part of this mindfulness and this well-being. And we want to make sure our school is a happy place, that it is a place where you have friends, you have community, people are helping you live a healthy life, and that you can encourage your family to be healthy. And I enjoy being there, and I
Definitely.
love watching the kids when they come in from the activities, or they'll come in the office and they'll have a great idea of what we can do next. And I say, okay, take it to the council, because truly at our school, I think, we have a slogan that where kids lead the way to well-being, and I think it's truthful. We take their ideas and kind of run with it. It's literally, we run with it. I'm not sure where we're at on time, but I want to make sure we have time to talk about our bike safety rodeo, which is
Yes, go ahead.
really
Yeah.
an awesome place. So go ahead, Julie, because you
Yeah.
helped a lot organizing that.
That was a perfect example of bringing community together along with parents, students, volunteers. We had the University of Iowa Bike Safety Helmet. We had the Trails
Trails
Bike Shop, and then we also had Mandy Kowal with Coaching Today, Triumph Coaching Today, along with lots of parent volunteers, students, and it was just a beautiful day for kids to learn bike safety, to have some fun, to exercise, and we were right there on the Lincoln premises, and it was just a really great event, and something that I'd like to see continue.
We could go to the next slide too, and you can see we have where we did bike maintenance. That's part of it. Bob Oblinger, who is with the Bicyclists of Iowa City, helped organize it too, and the Stead family Children's Hospital, they checked helmets, and they even had them for sale for students if they wanted them. And then on the next slide, both teachers and students, our student leaders, were involved, and so they did kind of obstacle courses, and we taught bike safety rules. And then on the next slide, or more about, we couldn't do it without our parent and family community volunteers. Is there anything else, Jack and Julia, you'd like to say about the bike rodeo?
What do you think, Jack?
I really enjoyed the bike rodeo. I really loved the slow race because we were trying to get across the finish line as slow as we could. Like usually you want to go as fast as you can, but it was a slow race, so we're going as slow as we can. And
You did pretty well, at it, too, if I remember.
As the star of this show, can you tell me how do you see your future? What would you like to be in the future?
in the future, I would like to be an ESPN analyst because I really like sports and I like talking about them at school.
Environmental science?
ESPN analyst, the sporting world. He
The
likes,
sports.
yeah, he likes to
Oh.
study stats and the basketball, football,
Wow.
behind the scenes. Yeah, he likes math and
In general, an outdoor activity.
yeah.
Well, it has been a real delight having you
Well, thank
this
you.
evening.
Yes.
Thank
And
you.
we appreciate your participation as parent.
Thank
And
you.
we would love to have more parents' involvement and sharing with their kids and kids of others to the activities and seeing the fruit of this kind of adult young people relationship. And we appreciate your leadership. You are a great role model for our female leaders in
Thank
this
you.
society, and we would like you to come back again.
Sure.
And this show will be on Channel 18, Channel 21. If you have the sophisticated media come high definition, then you go to the 800 numbers
Okay.
and find us there. But we are all the time on YouTube, as you can see on the screen here. Tonight will be on YouTube, as a matter of fact. Maybe tomorrow, maximally. And we are on public access TV. To these people, we are really much obliged because they give us all this facility and all this help. And you have seen Trenton working very hard with us on that. So thank you very much indeed. And to our viewers, thank you for watching us and for paying attention to what we have to show you about the role of our district in enriching our experience and make our kids feel good about their health and about their wellness.
Thank you for inviting
Thank you.
us.
Thank you very much.